Imagine for a second you are the President of the United States. It is February 2023, Super Bowl Sunday. You tweet out support for your wife's favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles, a harmless, normal tweet. It gets 29 million views. Now, imagine you are Elon Musk. You also tweet support for the Eagles, but there is a problem. Your tweet only gets 9 million views. The President of the United States ratioed the owner of the platform. Most CEOs would shrug this off. They would go back to their champagne and private boxes. But Elon Musk is not a CEO. He flew his private jet back to the Bay Area immediately. He summoned a team of 80 engineers to headquarters at 2:30 in the morning. His cousin, James Musk, led the charge. The demand was simple: fix it. They didn't just tweak the code, they broke it. The engineers deployed a power user multiplier, a code change that artificially boosted Musk's tweets by a factor of 1,000. The next day, your feed wasn't filled with your friends or the news. It was filled with Elon. This is not a story about a tech billionaire having a tantrum. This is a story about a man who realized that money is no longer the currency of power. Attention is. And he didn't just buy the town square. He rewired the speakers so only he could be heard. We are told that Elon Musk is a genius businessman running Tesla and SpaceX. That is a lie. Elon Musk is playing a completely different game, a meta game. He operates as a sovereign brand, an entity that creates value by manipulating narratives and engineering high-stakes physical realities. He has hacked the physics of manufacturing, he has hacked the psychology of the workforce, and he has hacked the algorithms that decide what you think. Today, we are going to rip open the black box. We are going to show you exactly how he controls multiple billion-dollar industries, not by playing by the rules, but by burning the rulebook to ash. To understand the Musk empire, you have to look at the graveyards he built it on. Before 2008, the aerospace industry was a racket. It was an oligopoly run by Boeing and Lockheed Martin. They had a monopoly on national security launches. They used a model called cost-plus contracting. Here is how that works. The government guarantees to cover your expenses plus a guaranteed profit on top. Think about the incentives there. If you build a rocket quickly and cheaply, you make less money. If you delay the project, bloat the budget, and take 10 years, you get rich. Innovation wasn't just discouraged, it was a financial liability. Then you had the Europeans at aerospace. They treated space like a luxury boutique. When Musk started talking about landing rockets and reusing them, the industry titans laughed at him. Richard Bowles at aerospace actually said this in 2013. SpaceX primarily seems to be selling a dream. I think reusability is a dream. They thought he was selling a fantasy, but Musk wasn't looking at their business models, he was looking at the periodic table. This is the first engineering hack. Physics over analogy. Musk didn't ask how much does a rocket cost. He asked what is a rocket made of? Aluminum, titanium, copper, carbon fiber, fuel. He priced out the raw materials on a commodity market. He found that the materials only accounted for 2% of the typical launch price. The other 98%? That was incompetence. That was bureaucracy. That was the waste of throwing a multi-million-dollar machine into the ocean after one use. So he didn't outsource. He vertically integrated. SpaceX brought 85 to 90% of manufacturing in-house. They built their own motherboards, their own engines, their own avionics. While the competition was managing supply chains, Musk was managing atoms. The result? The Falcon 9 became the workhorse of the global economy. The dream that aerospace mocked? That dream destroyed their entire business model. But he didn't stop at rockets. He took this same violent efficiency to the car industry. For 100 years, building a car was like building a Lego set with glue. A car chassis was a Frankenstein monster of 70 different stamped metal parts. You had to weld them, glue them, and bolt them together. It was slow, it was expensive, it was prone to errors. Musk looked at this and said, why don't we just make it one piece? The industry said it was impossible. You can't cast a piece of aluminum that big. It will warp, it will crack. So Musk went to IDRA, a casting company, and commissioned the world's largest die casting machines, the Giga press. This thing creates 6,000 to 9,000 tons of clamping force. It injects molten aluminum into a mold and casts the entire rear underbody of a Model Y in milliseconds. One piece. He deleted 70 parts. He deleted 300 robots from the assembly line. He shrank the factory footprint by 30%. Toyota is copying it. Volvo is copying it. The Chinese are copying it. He didn't just build a better electric car. He changed the fundamental physics of how cars are built. But machines are the easy part. Humans are harder. This brings us to the second hack, the cult of hardcore. Business school teaches you manager mode. You hire good people, you delegate, you have a work-life balance, you empower middle management. Musk runs on founder mode. Founder mode is a rejection of the professional managerial class. It says that the CEO should skip levels, dive into the microscopic details, talk directly to the engineer on the line. But it also requires suffering. During the Model 3 production hell in 2017, Musk started sleeping on the floor of the Fremont factory. He didn't do this because he couldn't afford a hotel. He did it for propaganda. He said, "I lived in the factory so that those on the line could see me working alongside them." This sends a signal. The mission is more important than your comfort. The mission is more important than your family. It creates a cult. If you aren't willing to suffer, you leave. The people who stay, they are zealots. We saw this play out in real time at Twitter. He fired 80% of the staff. He sent an email demanding that everyone commit to being extremely hardcore or get out. The Silicon Valley consensus was that Twitter would collapse. You can't run a platform with a skeleton crew. The site didn't collapse, and the rest of the tech industry took notes. CEOs like Niraj Shah at Wayfair started telling employees that laziness is not rewarded. Shopify's Toby Lutke started praising his engineering-first approach. Musk acted as an icebreaker. He shattered the norm of the pampered tech worker. He proved that you don't need an army of project managers, you need a small team of killers. But engineering and management are just the foundation. To truly control the world, you need to control what people see. This is the algorithmic hack. Musk understood something early on. It creates a sovereign immunity. If you try to regulate him, he will unleash the mob. The cost of doing your job becomes personally dangerous. We saw it with Martin Tripp, a former employee. Tripp leaked data suggesting Tesla was shipping cars with damaged batteries. A normal company handles this in court. Tesla's PR machine painted Tripp as a saboteur, a dangerous actor. Musk reportedly sent emails accusing him of being an arsonist, a claim that was never substantiated. He crushed the man's credibility before the facts could even be heard. This is the metagame in action, and it is funded by what critics call a Ponzi scheme of promises. We call this the vaporware financing model. Musk sells a utopian future to pay for a messy present. In 2016, he said full self-driving was a solved problem. It wasn't, but it kept the stock price high enough to fund the Model 3. In 2019, he said there would be robo-taxis next year. There weren't, but it funded the Model Y ramp. In 2024, he said the Optimus robot will be bigger than the car business. He borrows capital from a future that doesn't exist yet. Supporters call it vision. Critics call it fraud. But here is the uncomfortable truth. It works. The stock price allows him to build the factories. The factories eventually build the product. The fake future finances the real present. But what happens when the free speech absolutist meets the people who pay the bills? November 2023, the Deal Book Summit. Advertisers like Disney and Apple had pulled their money from X. They were worried about anti-Semitic content. They were worried about chaos. Musk sat on stage and gave the most founder mode answer in history. If somebody is going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, he said it twice. Financially, it was catastrophic. X's ad revenue collapsed from $4.14 billion to an estimated $1.94 billion. Fidelity marked down the value of their stake by 70%. But strategically, it cemented his brand as uncancelable. It signaled to his base that he was willing to burn billions of dollars to protect his ideology. He pivoted the entire platform from a commercial business to a political weapon. He doesn't care about the ad revenue, he cares about the influence. He inserted himself into the Ukraine war by providing and then threatening to withdraw Starlink internet. He effectively inserted himself into the chain of command of a global conflict. He has more active satellites than any nation on Earth. He isn't just a CEO anymore, he is a geopolitical actor. So, what is Elon Musk? Is he the savior of humanity, dragging us to Mars and sustainable energy? Or is he a chaotic oligarch, dismantling our institutions for his own ego? The answer is irrelevant to the mechanism of his control. He controls these industries because he recognized that the walls between engineering, marketing, and politics have dissolved. He merged them into a single feedback loop. The Giga press lowers the cost lowers the price drives the stock drives the fame drives the algorithm protects the brand. He has created a cultural singularity. He ended the manager mode of the 20th century. The era of the boring, safe CEO is over. He proved that in the attention economy, volatility is not a risk, it is an asset. You have to be the main character. Whether you love him or hate him, you are living in the world he is architecting. We have entered an era of techno-feudalism. Our critical infrastructure, space, internet, transport, speech, is now controlled not by democratic institutions, but by a sovereign individual. He rules by algorithm, and until someone else figures out how to bend reality with the same force, Elon Musk remains the sovereign architect of our time. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the Musk empire, hit that like button. And if you want to know how other billionaires are hacking the system, make sure to subscribe. Drop a comment below. Is Musk a net positive or a net negative for the world? I want to know your opinion in the comments.